Hockey Nation fans, welcome to Hockey Nation Live Show with Coach Frenchy directly in the booth with Michael Devellano still in Texas, Austin for the weekend, right?
Yeah, yep. One more day and then see what happens.
How's everything over there in Austin?
Wonderful.
We just got, we are right now a tropical storm here in North Miami Beach for the weekend. So, wet weekend in Florida, but not complaining. Not raining a lot here, honestly, like that. So, we're not going to complain and skip the beach for the hockey rink.
Not yet, not yet. We might have
By the
to
way,
go today.
finally, we saw the Islanders pick their first W of
Yep.
the series with a big win of 5-3, where they could not at any moment drop that game because that would be over, honestly. And the funny thing, if you think about this series could be 2-1 for Islanders.
I mean, it could be.
Could be because
That
they
last
lost
game was
an
really
OT,
close,
right?
right? Yeah, and we said this yesterday where, they had to win this game to stay in it. I thought they probably would because, they were missing Killorn on the other side. They were missing Point. We knew guys like Gordon then would step up. But they had the best chance. And the last game was close. They closed the gap after a big blowout. So we got a series, boys.
Exactly. We think all the time about Steven Stanko's out. Didn't play any game, and then we know that. But I think the fact like they miss a center like Brendan Point on the first line affect more the concept of the play of Islander whatsoever. They play well. Whatever they came back from a 3-1 deficit with 2 goals at the third period at the beginning. 8-9 minutes at the beginning of the period, but still without him, I really believe they are not the same team on power play. On it, they are 1-1. I understand that, but I believe it's the play he bring on the ice affect other player around him, and of course Alex Killorn was not there, where he's really a factor on power play with Kucherov and Point usually. So you missed three great players on power play. You missed Senkos, Point, and Killorn. Some point you know what I mean, you can say, oh, we are good and we you know what I mean, but that's the
Well, I mean,
one thing.
we said this before. There's a point where it tips in the balance. They did not give up. They were not out of that game in Tampa.
Not
Like,
at all.
for the number of people they were missing, they still performed really well. But at the same time, like it was the Islanders' best chance. They had to play desperate. Even when you saw like the Islanders go ahead, it was not over.
Not at all. For the first time, we saw a little bit of shaky Alexei Vasiliki ski yesterday. I think it's rare you score 4 goals. You have to go back for many games earlier before you see a team score 4 goals against Tampa. Second thing, by the way, I called the game yesterday. I just was wrong on the score because you remember I said 4-2,
Yeah,
and it's going to be an empty net, right?
yeah.
Remember that one? You were 5-3. But and at the flip side, I think it was one of the best. Valamat played well for the last 2 games,
Yeah.
and then he struggled for the four prior those games. You have 3 bad games, but really the last 2 games we cannot complain about Valamat hanging there, hang the team to and then give a chance, an opportunity to Islanders win. It's going to be a little bit longer series now. The factor of that series right now is going to be injury of Brendan Point. Um, I believe with bring Alex Killer it would be help, but not the point to give it that all going to
No.
win now because him. I think Point is really. We talk about a scorer, almost like one of the point per year, and the best matchup with. Um, Nikita Kucherov, a great duo together. So something we have to be a little bit more be careful, be watching what's going on with the Brendan Point for the game number 4. It's going to be tomorrow.
He's
By the
been
fact,
for me every time I watch them, he's the best player on the ice. And so you've basically lost what I think is your best player overall. I mean, Kucherov obviously leads the team in scoring, um, but overall, like despite his size, every game, Brennan Point is the center of offense. He creates opportunity. So losing him is a big deal. I don't know the nature of his injury. I'm hoping that he come back to Tampa, but that could totally change the series.
It's very hard on the playoff situation where the NHL implant a special rule for this year where for the playoff right this one. No, you don't have to talk about injury. You don't have to mention anything about injuries or anything like that. And you know how the playoff works. When the team is eliminate or is over, you can see the coach talking about different injuries inside the team, and that's great. You never know. Many players play playoff right now with injuries already. Um, I'll be honest with you. Yesterday, first of all, Lightning are in mission. On the last four team in this, I believe they are the best team can win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I don't,
My
don't
on
disagree.
my side, but on the Islanders side, we know Mike Matthew Barzal, the speed, the hands, what he can bring, and how he influences the offensive side, everything like that. But I'm really impressed. I really discover, we watch hockey a lot, and I'm watching many games per week in NHL, everything like that. But sometimes when you play, you watch, I don't know, like you watch one game Dallas, then the next game is Islanders, next you watch Nashville, and then you switching teams. But it's fun to see game after game different team. I'm falling in love with Nelson from Islanders.
Nelson, he's a
Brooke
good
Nelson.
player. Big body, like he's got some offense. He plays a little physical. Like you gotta like him.
I really impressed by him. I know him? Yes, of course I know him. But the
You
fact to
don't
see
watch him.
him night after night, it
Yeah.
gave me a chance to appreciate what he bring on that team. We know Anders Lee and we know those Eberle and those guys. But really, I discovered really Brooke Nelson inside that team. To be honest with you, um,
Yeah,
I'm,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think both Lee. They lost Tavares a few years ago. Everybody was freaking out about that. Barzal has kind of taken over as the overall best player, but I think their leader remains Lee, and Nelson's not far behind.
yeah.
A little bit different role, like Nelson, I think, is what you want from a second line center. He's a big body, he wins faceoffs, he plays a 200-foot game, and he's going to chip in 25 goals a year. And
I
you can,
agree with you. The second thing we said to you, it's barely, this last night was over 72 shot on the net. It's barely happening with both teams. They are really not a team gave a lot of shot on the net. So it was something where it was out of the normally how the Islanders play, not give a lot of shot. I don't know if I text you, but I believe it was 6 minutes at the beginning of the game, and they are already you have already 14 shot on the net, 9 and 5 in the first 6 minutes of the game. So I give you an idea how they was really offensive and they want to attack the net more and more and more. That's something not happen a lot for Islanders. They are two team, they control the structure defensive side. So it was a little bit not normally what happening with them, but still, I think at the end of the day to see 72 shot, it was the first time for that team during the playoff happening for both teams. If you a little bit more about the team stats, 58-42 for face-off is something Islander have to get better. Tampa completely, on face-off, they really do a lot about that one. Pocket and Yannick, Pocket have like 83% of
oh,
face-off.
oh, really? Wow.
Yep. Yep, it was something very good about that one over there. Without both team, we saw, the welcome on the eyes of Verhege. Maybe I'm wrong on this name, like Verhegehe. It was his first game of the playoff, and then we see Stefan play yesterday. He played a couple of times during the playoff, but it was his second. Both of them played 12 minutes for the Lightnings, but then power play 1-1-0-2 on
Oh,
the.
Carter Verhaeghe. Yeah. Carter Verhaeghe's like an ex-Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick, isn't he?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah. And then what was the other one?
It's a Stefan. Um, I think it's Matt.
Oh, Mitchell Stevens.
Yeah,
Yep. He didn't play that great. I think he was like -2.
-2 with Cirelli again. But
11 minutes.
we can go with -2 yesterday. Good row, Coleman and Cirelli -2 with him 7.
I think
Um,
you need Coleman to step up and be much better. Like you're missing bodies, and that's a guy that you need to play a lot better. And even Anthony Cirelli, he got a ton of ice time, and I just didn't think he was that effective.
I'm telling you, how many times you hear from me since the beginning, Cirelli don't play the level he play. They have, Kishar 22 minutes yesterday, and the
Yeah.
second best player, the second player with most minutes, it was Cirelli at 20 minutes, 21 minutes. Um,
Tyler Johnson, what is going on with this? The guy scores a goal. He played like 11 minutes.
um, you know, he is the West. He's the player with no less player, less of last minute on the ice yesterday for the Tyler. They don't use him anymore on power play, and he never been on shot and dirt. I don't know. I believe this is it's over for him after that.
Oh,
I really believe he's going
yeah.
to
How
move
many
out.
goals did he have this year? He was still a 14 goal guy in 65 games.
Yep.
He had 28 career playoff goals. This guy's still talented and can play. Unless he's hurt, you play him. Like I thought he would get like 20 minutes yesterday.
It's a great point here. He may be playing with injury. I think I like that. I like what you just said about this. Is maybe a player play with injury, but Tyler, he's always find a way to score big goal.
Always. He's an old offensively talented guy. Like
Yep.
you're missing point. There's a logical guy to step in. I mean, Gord probably sucked up those minutes like we predicted. Like I think everybody loves Yanni Gord. He's like a character guy. He's a joker on the ice, and he can play all three forward positions. Like he's rugged, small, but he's like a little fire hydrant. But Tyler Johnson's a killer. Like if you look at his playoff history, that guy's been the best player sometimes on their team. Like he's played almost 100 NHL playoff games, and I think he's got 25 or 28 goals.
Yep. And
Um,
I think
Something's up there. I don't know.
one thing I would say to you also was one he's getting more and more and more we play game right now playoff more he step up. I really like more and more Sergachev. He have a goal yesterday, but he play better like defensive side. He really more involved with the play for the Lightning. I think on the defenseman side, with Edmund yesterday, 23, 25 minutes. He played 23 minutes also for Sergachev was the most used on the ice yesterday. We saw during the game they start to hate each other now. You can see that kind of the frustration. They don't like each other now. It's going to have a lot more and more. The
For
series is
sure.
going to go deeper and deeper. You're going to see that kind of the physicality of that one over there. It was we passed 100 hit yesterday, Michael.
Wow. That's
62 for Tampa and 44 for Islanders.
wow. That's
That's
crazy.
that's a big one over there. The
Cool,
only thing I
man.
would say for Islanders, I really they win, no, but they gave too much, gave away puck. They gave another 19, 20 pucks yesterday. Gave away puck to the to the Lightning. And when you play with a team like Lightning, you cannot do that.
Australia.
You cannot do
Yeah.
that. You're going to pay the price. You're going to get in the trouble, and that's happening about that one. Their power play 1-1 yesterday for, and 0-2. We said that both team play with split. We know what happening at the end of the game. What last minute with many just misconduct 10 minutes, and then a fight at the end between I think it was like Martin. Um,
Oh yeah, I saw that on that goal.
at the end, Martin versus I forgot the one. Good
There was
roll.
like a goal the Islanders scored, I think, and that's when the fight happened. Is
So
that what it was?
yeah.
Yeah.
So and then before we jump on the stat for the players, as you know, like you said at the beginning, and you said yesterday, and that the Islanders could not drop that game, cannot let it go. If not 3-0, it's over for them. They have one important game now. They have to go one period at a time and go to catch up everything. And we see what happening with Brandon Point situation. But they show up yesterday. They play kind of, good, and it's Carl Kloderbach score at 12:58, opened the score for both teams yesterday at 12:58. An assist of Bullock and Martin. Matt Martin was his first assist of the playoff, and then 4 minutes later, great taking awareness of Michael Sergachev. I don't know if you see the play. He was almost like a D to D, and then Sergachev go behind the forward, and then well, Gord pass the puck over sausage space or a pass, and then Sergachev go with a left and right top shell back ends. Really great goal, second of the playoff. Scored it, tie the game 1-1. About 3 minutes 29 seconds remaining of the first period, where that it was almost even on the shot. It was even. Think about this, Marco. 17 shot versus 14 the first period. 31 shot the first period.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Honestly,
That's like we didn't expect that. I think we were expecting a much tighter series. Like,
I agree with you about that one over there. A little bit more open up on that one over there. Islander
sure.
had to open up to be sure to win that game. And the flip side, Tampa is a speed team and they respond right away. But Tampa have 9 shots at the first 4 minutes 36 seconds. So that gives you an idea how they was all in. Back in the second period, it took about 11 minutes and 50 seconds to see Adam Pelech score his first goal. I'm surprised about this.
Really?
Adam Pelech, defenseman.
But you think he should have scored more?
Yeah, him and Pollock have more offensive side on for the Islanders. And I said like 5-6 goal, but I think I was surprised to see him is only his first goal of the playoff from
Sure.
him. And I said like he's a 20 scorer defenseman. And just like I was surprised. Pajot got his third assist of the playoff, and then Mark Barzal got his 10, 2-1, 11:50, and then boom, 2 minutes later, during that goal, remember they have a fight between Anders Lee and Cedric Pocket in front of the net, where
Oh,
it become
that's the one I was thinking of.
yes, so it
Yeah.
become more like a wrestling match, between both, and then the referee decide to not give 5 minutes, but gave 2 minutes each. Now you know the rules. When you do that, you become 4 versus 4, and when you have a team with speed, everything like that, it's more open up. You open more the eyes. You have more space for the players.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that penalty, at 2 minutes later, so exactly at 13:50, Anthony Beauvillier scored his 9 of the playoff. Again, on a great pass of Brooke Nelson, and those 9 and 8 assists for them. At that moment, I thought it was the turnover. I thought that moment would be the momentum, and I thought it's going to be hard after that for Tampa. But again, when you have a team with offensive side, when you have that orientation to pushing hard every time, you cannot say it's always it's over or give up, and because until you have a 1 second on the scoreboard, don't expect Tampa is going to give up easily. They have so much resilience. They've been there before, and that's happening at 2:32 right away at the beginning of third period. Andre Palat scored his 7th of the year with a great pass from Kucherov and Sergachev. This was on power play, a tic-tac-toe between both the three of them, and now make the score 1-1. At that moment, I said myself, "Oh, now everything is possible now. It will take one shot to come back and tie the game, and then boom, it's happening at the 12:04. Tyler Johnson is fourth. Always been scoring big goal. You can, if you follow him, his career, Michael, he's always been the guy score a goal from nowhere, boom, score the game, tie the game, winning game. Always been. I think you said earlier, 28 goals.
28 yeah, I think it was 28 career playoff goals. Like
So
this is playoff goals.
so he get there. He was with the full line at that moment, and the score tied the game 3-3 at 12:04, and then finally 4 minute later, 4 minute and 31 second. I believe this for me right now. I believe he's the guy. Changed a lot the offensive side of the Islanders. Brock Nelson scored his eighth of the playoff, assisted by Bouvillier. I think both of them played very great, solid game yesterday. And then we mentioned not many times his name because he not scored a lot of goals. But Josh Bailey, he has yesterday, Michael, is 16 assists of the playoff.
Wow, that's crazy. Like, I mean, he's not that young either. Like, he's a fast player. He's got offensive tools. He's never been a big goal scorer, but you're seeing like a guy that's playing above like any level he's ever played. I think. I mean, he's playing better than ever.
I really believe he matched up very well, Bouvillier and Nelson. I think both of them need him. And, Bouvillier have 9 goals, Nelson have 8 goals. That's 17 goals. And Bailey have 16 assists. So
Wow.
that give you an idea. They have two great scorers, and then Bailey pick up everything, passing the puck, and make the play for them. And we have to give credit to Josh Bailey inside that offensive side for Islanders. And then finally, an empty net in 1924. And then you see all the crappy stuff happening after 3, 4 players together. Jean-Gabriel Pajot scored his 8th of the playoff with a stay again by who? Josh Bailey is 17 of the playoff. Empty net, 5-3. Close the game right there. And then you can see a couple of frustration between players. We got three three players. Each team got 10 minutes. We saw Sergachev, Edmund, and Kucherov frustrated also. Not said they are bad. It's just like they give 3 minutes 10. Then you got Clutterbach, Peugeot, and two of the Islanders get 10 minutes, get toast. And then after that, 8 seconds later, I believe it was Martin versus Goodrow. I believe Goodrow have a really good game yesterday. Paquette and Goodrow have 7 hits yesterday. Coleman 6 for the Island for the Tampa. On the flip side, the third line, no Peugeot, Peugeot and a Clutterbuck and Lee have 4 hits, but Belek have 6 hits for Islanders yesterday. So, at the end of the day, they make it. They did exactly what they're supposed to do if they want to go a little bit longer and to have give them a chance to beat the Tampa. Islander did it. Not such in my mind. I really believe Tampa is going to win that series, but it's good to see the Islanders rebound and come back and play a solid game and have a chance to score 4 goals again. Alexei Vasilevsky. It's not been easy. He have over 30 and 93.3 if I remember playoff save percentage. So it's not happened a lot when he gave 4 goals per game.
I was kind of shocked, but yeah.
You know, so that's the one. It was um, happening, and it's good for the Islanders. We see happening now. Game number 4 tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pay attention, Hockey Nation fans. The game tomorrow is at 3 p.m. on NBC National. With all the NFL open up weekend, I would be surprised me to put them in 3 p.m. But this is what it is, right?
Who's gonna watch the NFL? Come on.
Hey, it is. It's a
I don't know if hockey fans are gonna miss hockey to not watch NHL. I think.
The good thing about this is fun to have hockey in August, September. If you want to know my feeling about this and the what situation, the virus, everything like that, we need some distraction. We need some entertaining. If you're really a great hockey nation fans, love hockey, you cannot ask for more. And thank you NHL because you give us an opportunity to enjoy during those difficult time and any level, whatever is going on. We appreciate to watch game after game and their effort. And thanks players because you take sacrifice to, you know, to leave your family and you do what you love to do every single day. You know already you're privileged by your talent, your skill. But at the end of the day, we are thankful and grateful you give us that chance watching you night after night. So thanks again. And tonight, talking about games, 8 p.m. on NBC National Channel. Vegas Golden Knights versus Dallas Star, the 2020 surprise team. Honestly, for me, lead 2-1 in the in that series conference final conference on Western Conference. Um, and now I don't know, Michael. What do you think about this one? I'm shocked. Every time I see Dallas.
Every
Oh my
time I
God.
bet against them, they friggin' win. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I think the reality is we're understanding that Hezekiah is like a top defenseman. They have, he's just, it's like you had a number 1D in Klingberg. He's kind of like a 1B, like he's not perfect defensively, but he's great offensively. And then you slap in Hezekiah. And then Alexiak is like emerged. Like this is a guy who was bouncing around between teams, and he's a giant who can apparently contribute offensively, which we didn't know. So I mean that D is, and then you got Lindell who's underrated. Like so, I think this is being powered by them. Plus they have way more size and depth up front than we ever realized. So we got to start believing in this team. And as many doubts as we've had about Kudobin, um, he's a legit goalie. I mean, the guy's not new. He's been around the NHL and he's played very well wherever he's played. He's just bounced around a lot as kind of a second string, and this is a real team. I mean, I think they might be at this point better than Vegas. I don't know.
More I'm thinking about the way you're talking about this and the CIC this, um, it gave us a chance to see players we did not they are overrated, we don't see a lot, and we thinking they are we don't see before. And you talk about one, you talk about Kudobin, where really I believe in the last that series, maybe not before, but that series against Vegas, he's one of the reasons why Dallas is 2-1 on my book. And I could be
Totally.
wrong, but the
Look,
reason
just a
right
shot.
now,
Like he was outshot 38 zip or whatever,
yeah.
right? Not 38 zip,
On
but
the flip side, I would say to you, Lerner he got a lot of credit for what he did with Vegas until that series. Now he's not his fault. They lost one game and Fleury lost another one. But my point, I want to tell you one thing is um, Vegas lost for the last six games after they start 10-2 or 12-2.
well, they ran into Thatcher Demko. But I think we're starting to realize that some of that was their own struggles. Demko got in their head for sure. Like, they probably threw 100 shots and scored one or two goals, like in 3 games. Like, it was crazy.
And then
And
you're talking about, that what I was trying to tell you is also we find out, that moment, Kuryanov, we did not hear from many, he has already 15 point and six in
so
the
good.
19 game. He have like 8 goal already. And then another players, we know already he was talented, but that level, like Eskenen, I honestly he is like, this
He's,
guy is going to be I predict is maybe 3 years. He's going to be a, trophy
maybe even
trophy
weird. I mean,
winner
he's
Norris.
this good. Like, there's so many great young skating defensemen. He might be the best.
I agree with you.
It's kind of wild. Like, you got Quinn Hughes out there, but he's bigger and he's a little bit better defensively, and he's as good offensively, apparently.
I don't like to compare players, and it's hard to say he's like them because they are too great. It nobody is going to be like them, but is a prototype of player like Scott Niedermayer or Paul Coffey, and I would that kind of fluid skating guy, great hands, see the vision, the game. I don't say it is. I don't say it, but I want to compare. If I think about ex
Yeah.
defensemen in NHL. I believe they are right there. On the flip side, for Vegas, we already know what Mark Stone bring. We already know now. We discover more Shea Theodore during those playoffs. But I think at that moment, if Vegas want to go, deeper and to win that series. They need more from production from, I would say to you, they need more from those Riley Smith, Paul Stachny, Max Stone, Alex Dock with very well, but Patricia need to bring more merchants, so don't play well for the last,
I don't
they
know what's
play
going on
well, but they
there,
need
really.
more points.
Yeah,
Carlson scored last game, but he need more points, so they need more from their top six right now. They cannot hang in there with one goal per line. They need more. They need like a one line with 5, 6 points for one game to go there, and they are behind. So you can say, oh, they're going to be fine. I'm not sure. The way Dallas bring right now, Vegas have to shaking something because right now Vegas play the same style the game what Vegas play for the last month, and that will be confusing Vegas because they never met a team like Dallas, like physical, can match up everybody. Their D is great. Could have been play well, and then the offensive side, Resilov, Jimmy Ben
very
played
well.
ahead on the other player right now, so they get frustrated. So now it's going to be serious. They're going to keep their composure. They've been there before. They have a lot of experience on the Vegas side, but at the end of the day, um, really,
You know,
really
the one
important game
thing
tonight.
I was thinking about this, like I love Hins. Like Rupe Hins, to me, is a great number two center. Like that's the type of guy that a lot of teams love to trade for or find. He's a big guy. He's got talent. Even when he's not scoring, he's a problem down low for a defenseman, and he plays a 200-foot game. The guy that critical of is Sagan. But one thing I've noticed, which I've never noticed about him before, is he is playing a 200-foot game. And we look for big offense from Sagan, but routinely I'm seeing him deep in his zone and he's on his man tight, which, I mean, that's never been his game for me. Like, he's always been a guy that kind of floats around, looks for spaces, and creates opportunity. But I don't know if he's adjusted because of the playoffs or that he bought into something the coaches asked him to play. But away from the puck, I think this is Sagan's best play,
Yeah.
which is shocking to me because that's never been what he is. I mean, he's always been about being sneaky and stealing stuff and
So
getting a big
now,
shot.
yeah. So what's happening there before we close the show a little bit later? We're going to talk about our prediction for that game. But let's go move on with. We have a lot of news. Whatever it was a Friday, uh, we have got a lot of news. We're starting with the winner of the Lady Bank trophy. The winner is Nathan McKinnon from the Colorado Avalanche. Do you know exactly what is the Lady Bing trophy or not?
Most gentlemanly player, isn't it?
Yeah, most sportsman-like
Yeah.
players and with ability, everything like that. He beat and Austin Matthews. Um, Matthews finished second, so it's a one it's a one trophy where he's going to win more and more with time in the McKinnon. But it's nice to see a young talent win the Lady Bank. So congrats to Nathan about that one over there with some disappointment at the end of this. So we'll see happening there. We have a trade in NHL yesterday.
Yeah.
It's rare and a playoff. But 2020 is different. Playoff is different. Like everybody's happening, and So we have a trade between the Minnesota Wild versus with Pittsburgh Pens. You know the trade?
Bukestad.
Yep.
So
Third
he's
team in the last 1 year moved from Florida Panthers um, to the Pens, and now he's with Minnesota Wild.
you knew they
Um,
were gonna have to do something there. He was injured most of the year. He's had a lot of injury problems. He's a big, tall guy, but he's not rugged. And he's a guy that they protected, I think, in the expansion draft, right?
yep.
Florida, and they lost Marches though. So I think looking back on that, you'd want to keep Marches and let him go. He's a Minnesota kid. I don't see much going on there. Even if he's healthy, he's going to be a third line center for me. But he could score, but he's all potential at this point. He's not going to at his. I think his best days are gone.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm just shake my head how some team makes some bad decision or bad contract. His other kid got $5.25 million.
What? Well, they look at him and he's a 6'4", 6'5" guy that can score.
He signed a contract a 6 year at 24 million.6. Now he
That
have
is
an average 4 millions, but
crazy.
again he's 6'6", 215.
Is
Uh,
he 6'6"?
was
Wow.
a 19 overall pick in 2010. He's
So
20
listen to what you
years
just said.
old.
He's six
Um,
foot six and 215 pounds.
yeah, 215. But
Why do you
again,
hear all the time he's too skinny? That's, I mean, 215 sounds like a lot, but not when you're 6'6".
my point to you is like, do you know how many point his best career point he has in
He's like
NHL?
34 or something, or 40?
49.
49. Okay, that's better than I thought. But he's only had one 20-goal season, or how many?
But 49 point, do
That's
you
okay.
really sign some a kids like for 6 year at $25 million? Like, I don't know, but I'm always shaking my head when Panthers, like they gave to Mike Madison, defenseman for them, a contract of 4 point something per $1 million. They gave to Aaron Eggblad $7.5 million after 2 years in NHL. Um, you
I think,
said he
yeah.
have a good year last year. Yes, he did. Right for 7.5 million, I don't think so. He deserve it.
Who,
He was
Ekblad?
sorry.
Ekblad, you're saying, was
Yeah,
7.5?
7.5 millions.
That's a little high, but I think GMs play this game where, and you don't know who made that decision either. You don't know if that's an ownership decision. You know, sometimes when you're doling out that much cash and you've got an active owner, they're like, sign him, get him under contract, right?
Yeah.
And hey, we're in a market with no fans. Let's keep him. I think if you look at the point where Bukestad signed, he had had some pretty consistent years. He had 16 goals, 24 goals, 15 goals. He had an injury plagued season in 16, 17. Then he got 49 points. He was back kind of at that 20 goal level. Big guy. And you look at him and you go, hey, this is going to be best days ahead. Nope. So you don't know, like at this point, he had
So they
14.
got him. Minnesota got him for conditioning selection draft in 2021 draft. Now, with that trade, I believe it's the end of Miko Koivu for the Wild. I think it's over
I
for
think he's
him.
done, don't you?
What?
I think he's done. He's old and he can't do anything anymore.
He's 37. Yeah, he was four line, but he will continue to play hockey. I think he's back home now. He's going to be home and
So, all right. So let's be fair to Nick Bukestad. Even last year in a shortened season, he had 14 goals. So he can score, and he's a big, tall guy. I think the injuries are adding up, and this was bad.
not
But
last year.
yeah, last year he had 14 goals. He
In
played between four.
2021 and 1920.
No, that's this year. We're the same season. This is 1920,
Okay, yeah, right.
right?
Because he
He
played
was
only
hurt all
13
year.
games this year.
But last year he only played 13 games this year. But last year he still had 14 goals. And the year before he had 19. So he's kind of a 15, 20 goal guy. I get that. But it's still like, I
But do
think
you, do you believe that 15 goal kids should have 4.5 to $5 million?
it's hard to say right now. If you're a 20 goal scorer, you're probably four and a half, right? Maybe five. It
He's
depends on your role.
all
I
right.
don't think it's a great contract, but it's not that far off.
Okay, but do you believe he's a defensive side too? Is a two-way players?
Absolutely not.
So you know what I mean? Like for me, at 4.6 with 5.25,
I
it's
get it. I get it.
overpay for
He's
what
not a
he
young
brings to
kid
the
though,
team.
right? Like again, you're talking about a guy that's got 100 goals in the NHL. He's pretty close to that. And he's he can. It's hard to find guys that can score 20 goals. It's definitely tough. So I get why they signed him. How many years are left on that contract?
One more, I think.
Okay, so it's not so bad. So
No, the
not so,
Minnesota Wild, I mean, like sometimes you
yeah,
pick up players to relent, to give a
for sure.
chance and see what happening, and they lost him like Montreal signed Jake Allen.
Yeah,
They're not thinking about 5 years. They're taking
yeah,
1 year at a time with him. It's the same thing for them. They cost them nothing. The only thing it costs is salary cap. But here he scored
yeah,
15, 20 goals.
yeah.
They will suck it up with the
Yeah.
salary from him, and that's pretty much what they did. So I don't
Okay, so I guess thinking in this terms, right? It's 2017-18. You just paid Nick Bukestad $4 million. He gets you 19 goals. You're pretty happy.
yeah.
So I get that. That contract was probably okay. He ran into some injury problems this year. So I guess it's not as horrible as we think. I've never loved him. It sucked losing Marchessault in the expansion draft, but I get it. Like you think, hey, maybe this guy's got upside, but for me, he's just injury prone. I don't see it long term. I think he's had his best years, and maybe Minnesota gets a second line guy for you that can
Yeah.
score 15 goals, but he'll miss 20 games.
Talking about signature, we have one signature yesterday from Los Angeles Kings, signed a defenseman, 25 years old, Sean Walker. Uh,
Oh, okay. Is it the Australian Sean Walker or is it the other
yeah,
one?
it's a 4 years contract. It's a
Yeah.
contract extension, so it's not like he was on the UFA.
What did he
Uh,
get?
only 2.65 million on the cap, but he got a 10.6 million.
Oh,
So,
the Keswick kid.
you
Yeah, you know
know,
what? He did you watch him last year?
yeah, I watch him a lot. He's a good
He's
five
pretty good.
defenseman.
Yeah.
I think it's a good signature for them. If he played the
Yep.
level, he still have 24 points. That's not bad. He have minus
Oh,
12, but Los Angeles gave a lot of goal. So for the team and reconstruction and the rebuild, I think it's a good signature.
good
Not
sign
high or under $3 million. I think it's a good signature like that.
for sure.
Um,
So do you know he was the captain at Bowling Green?
yes,
And
yeah, 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 yeah.
and if you look at the Kings, both Rob Blake and Nelson Emerson, who are in the organization, they have a connection because they both went to Bowling Green. So I think there's a high trust factor. And last year when I watched him, he's way better than I thought. He kind of plays like number four, number five there. Um, but I like the signing. He's a good defenseman.
I think it's good. I think he fit well. And I think for a contract like this, you can pay a defense number five, maybe six, but more like a five, sometimes four. And you get a little bit offensive side, you have five goals. I think at 2.65 is really good deal for both sides for him. And he got a big, a more shaker for him, 4 million, 4 years. And I think that's pretty good. I think for them it's a very good deal for him too, and
And
for the
if
team.
you look at like the problem in LA right now, they've traded away Muslin, they've traded away Martinez. They kind of got Drew Doughty, and then there's a big drop off. They got Tobias Bjornfot is coming up, and he's going to be pretty good. Is he a number two or number three? Probably. That's my guess.
Yep.
Looks like he's ready. So you really, if you have him as the number four, you got Matt Roy who also played pretty well. So maybe your third pairing is probably Roy and Walker. You got Bjornfot maybe plays with Doughty. They need kind of a 3-4 and they're in good shape. That's probably the difference between them because they're really stacked on forward now.
Yeah. One thing I didn't mention to you about the trade for the Penguin for the Pants Wall is the trade for 2021 conditional, 7th round pick, and the good thing about this also is depends the conditional pick will depends if he plays 70 game or he record 35 points. On the same side, Pittsburgh, uh, open up an extra cap room for 2.6.
That's what that move was, right? Like they're
Yeah,
gonna have to move some stuff around.
exactly. So that give them a chance. Moving up with some news before we close here. Um, Arizona GM's round number one is over. Now we know Pierre Maguire is not longer in the picture with Shane Down, where he never been in the picture, but he was a little
Oh
bit
wait,
mentioned.
Shane Doan was interviewing.
He was not interviewed. He was not. He was. Some people bring him on the table,
Oh,
but he
I
was
can see
not
that.
there. Steve Sullivan is still remaining in the possibility to
Why
be.
why wouldn't you keep Steve Sullivan? I think he's a good young GM. He's been in the organization. He's run an AHL team. He's been an assistant GM. He's a good pick.
Yep,
Like it's not, there's obviously more experienced guys, but it's not like he's like an announcer interviewing for a GM job. He's a legit
exactly.
guy that's been paying his dues. And he played
Talking
in
about injury for tonight, it's already official for game number four. Ben Bishop, Steven Jones, and Taylor, defenseman Fitan, are out unfit to play, and it's a game decision now for Radek
oh
Faxka.
really? That's a
Yeah,
big loss
it's
actually.
a big one. I think he was played second, second or third line.
Sure.
center over there. So that would be good. It's confirmed officially now. The draft is going to be a Tuesday, October 6th, and
Woo!
Wednesday, October 7th. Confirmed by NHL and open up right away Friday. Friday, October 9th is going to be the free agency um, for NHL right away. So
Oh, October 9th. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then, did you see the Toffoli comment?
no.
Uh, he wants to stay with the Canucks, and I think they kind of want to work out a contract with him, which is great. I think that's a great spot
Oh
for him.
yeah, the fully common. Yeah, yeah. I agree. I was.
I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's get it done. I think that's. Did you see the other rumor about Leonard?
Now the next rumor. So I was jumping on that one. Was my next thing. Robert Lerner talk. Um, they have like someone said they have a shake hands between both organization and the team said he's going to stay at $4 million if I could be
I
right
thought
or
it was
five million,
five
five
times
million dollars, right?
because I
Uh,
think that's what he makes now is 5 million.
yeah. And
That's
during
too
the press
low,
conference yesterday, Leonard was like, "Not at all. This not happen." I don't know who said that. He was upset about this. He was a little bit upset about who
man.
bring this on the table. Um, Here, my point to you about that one there, and I can be wrong, and it could never happen. I predict they're going to sign him for between 5.5 to
That's
$6 million,
what I thought.
give him 4 5 years
Yeah.
contract, and they're going to send back Fleury and Pittsburgh. Bang!
Why?
Why?
As the what to go with Tristan Jari?
Yeah, first of all, Vegas cannot have both of them.
But Pittsburgh wants they're gonna have to pay Jari apparently.
Yeah, but it would get
They
what,
have
four
Casey,
five million dollars per year,
maybe.
right? And
Yep,
now
we'll
with
pay
Murray,
Murray. They'll
is
get
both
something
of
for
them are
Murray.
RFA. Both of them, right? Murray's going to get a 5 6 million if they go in arbitration. So he better to get Jerry. Now, when he get Flurry, he's going to get buy out by Vegas. So you have no money there for Pittsburgh to pick him up and to get him at $3 million, something like that.
Maybe. Pittsburgh has a history of bringing guys back. I, I think that Casey DeSmith though, like he's a pretty good goalie. So he
Not
was in here before.
consistency like he was. No,
Yeah,
listen,
maybe. It
I'm not
might be it
saying
would be a better choice. I think you're right. Like if they could get Flurry at the right number, then bring him back. He's a very capable NHL goalie. He's loved in Pittsburgh. And I think that he would be a great mentor to Jari. And then you move Matt Murray and get it something like a Ristolainen or something.
yeah. So again, I'm not saying like it's happening. My point to you,
No, it would be a good pick.
If Vegas sign Leonard, they cannot
Yep.
stay stuck with both of them.
Wow.
All right. So I believe they will make a move with that part over there,
Yep.
and that will make it a chance. Now, Fleury, he's been to Pittsburgh, all
Sure.
friends with them,
Totally.
great relationship between Ben.
Yep.
Want to separate with them, he had no bad feeling or something, was,
Well, it would be a
like
logical move. I could
anything
see
else.
it.
So I said, I'm not saying I'm completely right about that. I just
No,
said
but
it's a
it
chance
would.
to get
Yeah.
there over there. So let's move on with Montreal Canadiens. I know we talk about a kids like Charles Hudon not going to return with Montreal at 99.9. His agent said he's looking for more like it's time to separate with them and
They've
give them
buried
a
him.
better chance somewhere where he's never been. First of all, he's never. It's not true. He gave a chance. Never have. He's a between a four line and AHL players, but unfortunately, four line not be physical and not be great on defensive side, and
Yeah,
only
it's not gonna
sometimes
work.
on offensive side where he did not bring a lot. The last couple of years when Montreal, I think it's both sides. It's the time to separate and divorce and let it go. He's a
Yeah.
RFA. I believe between you and me, I believe Chaludon is a prototype of Europe um, hockey player, Sweden, Swiss, whatever it is. I think he should go that way over there. Um, on a quick news, we talking earlier about Pittsburgh. Look like now the core of is going to be the same. They don't expect anybody to go nowhere. Crosby, Malkin, and Letank. They don't see. They are very happy about they bring more, speed forward. Now they have Tanev, Brandon, Jason Zucker, and Kasperi Kapanen. So they believe they have more speed in front, so they're helping the team. And then they expect now, Matt Murray is going to go somewhere else because he's going to get 6 million, like I mentioned to you. And then they expect Tristan Jerry, to get
Like,
$3.4 million over there. Um,
that makes sense. So
no,
you, because I
Fleury
was
is not
kind of
coming
debating on
back.
Murray, like, do you think he gets 6 and 6 or 5 and 6?
But arbitration, he's going to RFA arbitration.
Oh,
Arbitration,
he's filed for arbitration.
yeah,
Oh, he's gonna get 6 in arbitration.
4, 5, and 6. That's our expectation. You're absolutely right about Casey Smith. Likely be the backup goalie if it's something not happen with Flurry. So it could be something happen that part there. Now they trade Nick Pustav. They expect to have another trade with Jared McCann. He's going to be next one. We
I
know
like him. I don't mind him.
Marlowe and Connor Sherry is free agent, right? They won't be back.
I
Dominic Simon is a RFA, and Aston Reese is out for the season already for next year.
oh
Uh,
really?
but they expect the pending free agent defenseman Justin Schultz won't be back next season. So it's a little bit about Pittsburgh. We know we're going to talk about team by team by team the next couple of days. We're going
Yeah.
to start this, and then we're going to talk about our first. I would like Michael the next couple of days, maybe at the end of the week, talking about our first mock draft uh, 20,
Yes.
2021. I'm going to set up a couple of things for you, and then just comments about
Oh, the
some parts.
2020 draft or next? Yeah, this coming draft, right?
Yeah, the coming, 2021, 2020, honestly. So this coming October 6th. So we hit the 12 next week. So maybe starting next, 19, the 21st September, we can go a very good early mock draft and then make some change. One going to be weeks prior or something like that. So let's go back with the finalists. This great show today. Talk about the game between Dallas and Vegas. What is your prediction of this game? I always like when you speechless like that.
I mean, I'm having a really, really, really hard time not picking Dallas.
That's we always been that way, right? Every time they play, we always go with the opening team. We
I
expect,
always pick everybody else, and they kill me.
yeah.
Like they're just better than I realize. I mean,
Vegas 3-2 tonight. I think they will come back. I think Dallas. I don't see Dallas with 3-1. I just not see that.
maybe, man. I
They
think Dallas.
could, of
I
course, they
think they
could.
can do it.
They could.
Hold on, I'm
And it's
texting.
going to
I'm gonna
be
I'm gonna
another.
text Pavelski. 1 second.
I really
Pavelski
believe it's
says they're
going.
gonna win.
I really believe it's going to be another close game, low score. I don't see a lot. Like I don't see like a 6-3, 6-4.
Oh,
I don't see that. I could be wrong. Of course, we can be wrong, but I,
yeah,
I see another low score, 3-2, 4-3, 3-1, 2-1, something like that. I don't see a lot about that one over there. So that's my prediction for tonight.
I think I'm gonna go with Dallas. I'm gonna
Okay,
pick Dallas every time now.
and you should. At the end of the day, you should.
Then the other team will start winning and we'll be good.
That would be helping about that one over there. But now, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I won't be disappointed to see Dallas now in final versus Islanders or Tampa because I think they deserve it. I think they play well. I think they will not. They will show up and they maybe give a lot of problem to on the Eastern Conference, whatever the team is going to be there. Honestly,
Yeah.
um, I can't wait to see Tampa how he's going to respond with the big guy like two team physicality about like Vegas and again, I said Tampa is going to win it. Again, Islanders it's just like be hard for Islanders to go through Tampa, but we'll see with the future. So Michael go with Dallas tonight, and then Frenchy go
Why
with
not?
Vegas.
Why
Um,
not?
hockey Nation fans, remind you to sign up and subscribe to our two locations where you can find um, the YouTube channels, Hockey Nation Live, and also Facebook Live under Hockey Nation Live. Anything to add today for the Saturday? And remember, we are all showing up every day, usually 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We shop Michael or me, or without Michael or without me, it could happen. But we try to bring the most news, NHL, preview the game, and also the rhythm of the game the day before. That's what we do. That's the purpose of that show. Maybe we'll go to jump a little bit later with more with Junior and Prospect and all kind of other things going on around the world. But right now it's all about NHL because it's quiet everywhere. It's very quiet.
I was gonna. I don't know if you know. So I was having a conversation. I won't say with who, but so part of the motivation of playing the way they are right now is the NHL got a bill from NBC for 180 million dollars.
That's crazy.
So they were like, "Oh, you're not going to play? Then we prepaid all this time. You can pay for it." So they're like, "We got to have a season." It's funny how money can motivate you to pull something off great. If they
But
did an amazing
tell you
job,
now,
I'm so
Michael, we are hockey fans like like anybody else here, and the listener we have. But at the end of the day, that's a great experience. It's a
happy.
great decision from NHL. I really believe this, and
I agree.
bring more bring more hockey people to love more the game and to have something to new that we're helping the youth to learn more the game, and that change a
Totally.
lot when have nothing. We know NFL is coming now. We understand that part, but again, at the end of the day, it's a win-win for NHL. I really
I
believe
think
this.
so. They've done an amazing job. I mean, it's been a great experience. I'm excited to have hockey in the summer. I mean, I would take hockey 12 months of the year.
Of course, we love to have this, but I think that's showing sometime. Hockey could play an any man, and I would be surprised. I'm looking to know more the stat about how many people watch the game during that time of the year. Maybe want to go to finals. Of course, sometimes the team make the stats of the viewer watching the game because sometimes when it's a bigger team like Pittsburgh, maybe Edmonton or a big name play finals, bring more people. But whatsoever, I would like to compare that stat in September, October versus the one in June, what it will be the difference between. So I can wait to see the comfort, the finals, the Stanley Cup. But until then, we have to finish the round number three, and tonight again 8 p.m. on NBC. Dallas versus Vegas, game number four, 2-1 lead by Dallas right now, and it's going to be another great game
So,
tonight.
yep.
Anything before we close that show, Michael?
Nope.
Thanks again. We love to having you here with us, with me, and then hockey, Hockey Nation fans love having you here. So thanks again. And hockey fans, enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy your weekend. And don't forget both games this weekend. And Mike, have an amazing, great Saturday. See you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Hockey
Thanks, Pierre.
fans, thanks again to be here with the Hockey Nation live show. Have a great one.
Have a good day.
You too.